Most people think Bitcoin's future will be loud, a sudden crash, a massive rally, a dramatic headline. But history shows something different. The biggest shifts in financial systems don't announce themselves. They happen quietly while most people are distracted. And right now, Bitcoin is doing something subtle, something it has only done before major turning points. The question isn't if something is coming. The real question is who will notice it in time. To understand where Bitcoin is going, we need to understand why it was created in the first place. Bitcoin didn't emerge from a tech lab. It didn't come from a bank. It wasn't designed by a government. Bitcoin was born in 2009 in the shadow of the global financial crisis. Banks had failed. Governments had stepped in. Money was created at historic levels to save the system. And trust, the most important part of any financial system, was broken. Bitcoin was a response to that moment. A system designed to work without trust, without permission, and without central control. At first, almost no one paid attention that silence matters. Because every major financial shift in history begins the same way: ignored, underestimated, and misunderstood. For years, Bitcoin lived on the edges of the internet, used by technologists, libertarians, experimenters. Then something changed. Crises started stacking on top of each other. Sovereign debt grew. Interest rates hit zero. Money printing became normal. Confidence in institutions weakened. Each time uncertainty increased, Bitcoin didn't disappear. It survived. Then it grew. Not in a straight line, but in cycles. Booms followed by crashes. Euphoria followed by despair. And yet after every collapse, Bitcoin came back stronger. That pattern alone separates it from most speculative assets. But cycles don't repeat forever in the same way. Eventually systems reach a breaking point. This cycle feels different. Not because of price, but because of who is paying attention now. Bitcoin is no longer just a retail experiment. Institutions hold it, governments regulate it, corporations build around it. Financial products are tied to it. That changes its role. Bitcoin is slowly shifting from a speculative asset to a systemic signal. And here's the quiet part most people miss. Bitcoin has stopped reacting emotionally to chaos. In past crises, it moved violently. Now it absorbs shocks. That behavior usually appears late in an asset's evolution, not early. It suggests maturation. And maturation in financial systems often comes right before integration or conflict. Historically, when financial systems show stress, leaders attempt fixes: lower rates, more liquidity, regulatory changes, confidence messaging. But those tools are losing effectiveness. Debt levels are higher than ever. Currencies are weaker relative to assets. Trust in institutions continues to erode. Bitcoin doesn't solve these problems, but it exposes them. It operates on rules that cannot be changed when convenient. And that's exactly why it makes traditional systems uncomfortable. Because it introduces a comparison, not loudly, quietly. History doesn't repeat word for word, it repeats patterns. Every major monetary shift, gold standards, fiat systems, reserve currencies, followed the same arc. Trust builds, complexity increases, leverage grows, cracks appear. Alternatives emerge. Bitcoin fits step 5. Not as a replacement overnight, but as pressure. A reminder that systems are choices, not laws of nature. And when alternatives exist, power dynamics shift. Bitcoin's future likely won't be defined by price targets or hype. It will be defined by relevance. When confidence drops, Bitcoin gets mentioned. When controls increase, Bitcoin becomes interesting. When systems strain, Bitcoin stays online. That consistency is the signal, not excitement, not fear, persistence. 1. Bitcoin is evolving from speculation to signal. Its behavior now reflects maturity, not rebellion. 2. The future isn't about replacing the system. It's about pressuring it. Bitcoin changes conversations even when it doesn't change laws. 3. Quiet phases often come before major transitions. In markets, silence is rarely meaningless. The most dangerous assumption people make is believing the future will arrive loudly. History suggests the opposite. By the time everyone agrees something matters, its role is already locked in. Bitcoin's future may not be obvious yet, but the direction it's pointing toward is becoming harder to ignore. If you want to understand where systems are heading, not just what's trending, subscribe to the channel. Because the biggest shifts don't happen overnight. They happen quietly, almost suddenly. They don't.